The image of the Holy Family stands at the center of Christian imagination, a silent scene of harmony, of purity, of absolute order. For centuries, this image has shaped how faith is taught, painted, and remembered. But the biblical text itself introduces a tension into that picture, not through metaphor, not through symbolism, but through names. The Gospels do not speak of only one child. They mention James, Joseph, Judas, and Simon, and identify them plainly as the brothers of Jesus. That single detail creates a rupture. If Jesus had brothers, the traditional image of the Holy Family suddenly becomes incomplete. So who were these men? Were they children born to Mary and Joseph after the miraculous firstborn? Or is the answer hidden not in theology, but in language, in how ancient words were used, translated, and later understood? This is not a peripheral question. It reshapes how we understand Jesus' family, his early life, and even the structure of the first Christian community. The investigation begins now. To understand this puzzle, we have to start where Christianity itself begins, the text. The evidence is not buried in obscure footnotes. It appears openly, repeatedly, across multiple sources. In the Gospel of Mark, the people of Nazareth react to Jesus' teaching with suspicion. They ask, "Isn't this the carpenter, the son of Mary, and the brother of James, Joseph, Judas, and Simon? Aren't his sisters here with us?" This is not hostile propaganda. It is casual familiarity. These are neighbors listing names as if stating something obvious. That matters, because when a text treats information as common knowledge, it usually reflects a shared social reality. Matthew records the same reaction, the same names, reinforcing the account. Then comes Paul. Writing earlier than the Gospels, Paul describes meeting James, the Lord's brother, in Jerusalem. He does not explain the title. He does not defend it. He assumes his readers already understand it. That silence is revealing. John's Gospel adds another layer, noting that during Jesus' ministry, even his brothers did not believe in him, clearly separating them from the disciples. And after the resurrection, Acts places them in Jerusalem, praying with Mary and the apostles. Taken together, the pattern is consistent. Multiple authors, different moments, same family structure. Read plainly, the conclusion is unsettling. Jesus appears to be the firstborn of a larger, ordinary household. So why is this not universally accepted? Why does this question remain one of the deepest fault lines in Christian interpretation? Because the text is not the only authority shaping belief. The idea that Jesus had biological brothers creates friction with one of Christianity's oldest traditions, the perpetual virginity of Mary. And that tension forces a second explanation. This theory does not deny the text, it reframes it. The argument centers on language. The Greek word adelphos does mean brother, but in the ancient world, words operated with wider social flexibility. In Semitic cultures especially, family was not a nuclear concept, it was communal. In Aramaic, the language Jesus spoke, the same word could refer to brothers, cousins, nephews, or members of the same clan. We see this linguistic elasticity elsewhere in Scripture. In the Old Testament, Lot is called Abraham's brother, despite being his nephew. The text prioritizes relationship over precision. But the strongest argument for this view is not linguistic, it is situational. As Jesus hangs on the cross, nearing death, he speaks to his mother and to the disciple John, "Woman, behold your son," and to John, "Behold your mother." This is not symbolic poetry. It is a legal and social act. In first-century Judea, caring for a widowed mother was not optional. It was a binding family obligation. If Jesus had living biological brothers, that responsibility belonged to them. By entrusting Mary to someone outside the family line, Jesus appears to act as if no such sons existed. That single moment raises a serious question. If the brothers were not sons of Mary, then who were they? Some traditions identify them as cousins, children of Mary of Clopas, a relative of Jesus' mother. Others, especially in Eastern Christianity, argue they were sons from a previous marriage of Joseph, making them older half-brothers. The text does not resolve this, and that ambiguity is not accidental. Regardless of how we define their relationship, one fact remains extraordinary. These men did not begin as believers. John's gospel is unambiguous. During Jesus' public ministry, his brothers did not believe in him. They were not disciples in waiting. They were skeptics inside the household. That skepticism matters because it removes the possibility of blind loyalty. If they followed Jesus later, something radical had to happen. According to Paul, that moment came after the resurrection. The risen Christ appears personally to James. This encounter transforms a doubter into a leader. James becomes the central authority in the Jerusalem church, the movement's original epicenter. This is not symbolic leadership. Jerusalem was the axis of early Christianity, where doctrine, identity, and direction were contested. James presides over the first major council of the church, guiding decisions that shaped the future of the movement. Tradition attributes to him the Epistle of James, a text grounded not in abstraction, but in ethical action. Another brother, Jude, authors a short but forceful letter that confronts corruption and false authority. The transformation is complete. From skepticism to governance, from family tension to institutional power. These men did not inherit authority. They earned it in a movement that valued witness over blood. In the end, the mystery of Jesus' brothers remains unresolved. On one side stands the repeated, unembellished language of the New Testament. On the other stands a tradition shaped by theology, translation, and silence. Both frameworks are internally coherent, and neither fully erases the other. Perhaps the question is not which theory wins. Perhaps the deeper insight lies elsewhere. A group of men, bound to Jesus by family ties, moved from doubt to conviction, from private skepticism to public leadership. They stood close enough to doubt him and close enough to be transformed. The Holy Family, it seems, was not a static icon. It was dynamic, complex, and far more human than art allows. And that complexity may be its most honest legacy. Now the question passes to you. If language can reshape a family tree, what else might translation have quietly reshaped? Which explanation makes the most sense to you? The investigation doesn't end here. It continues with the questions you're willing to ask. If this video made you pause and reconsider what you thought you knew, you might want to follow the channel and share it with someone who enjoys questions without easy answers. These stories aren't about settling debates, they're about opening them. And now, the question stays with you.